to support the platform just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below. So before we get started, I just want people to understand that this was a first take on the information when some things were directly out there, and the information wasn't fully known who the individual was, what ethnicity the individual was. So I just want to keep that in mind just before people want to start getting off into a rant and all the other type of stuff. A 13-year-old is unalive after being shot by a homeowner who claimed the boy was breaking into vehicles in a Northeast DC neighborhood early Saturday morning. The Metropolitan Police Department said the event happened around 3:56 a.m. in the 1000 block of Quincy Street, not far from Brooklyn Middle School and Turkey Thicket Recreation Center. According to investigators, the unidentified homeowner confronted and banefully wounded the 13-year-old after claiming that the boy was breaking into several vehicles along the street. They said the boy was aimed at multiple times. There is no indication of who placed the 911 call reporting the incident. Police did not release specific details about the confrontation, but add that there was no indication that the 13-year-old was armed. The 13-year-old was identified by police as Karen Blake of Northeast DC. Police said that Blake was a student at Brooklyn Middle School. Investigators said when officers arrived at the scene, they found the homeowner performing CPR on the boy. The 13-year-old was taken to an area hospital after the shooting and later pronounced dead. Investigators said that the firearm used in the shooting was legally registered and the homeowner is cooperating with authorities. While investigating the incident, police found a car on Quincy Street that had been previously reported stolen and is believed to have been used by the 13-year-old. Investigators believe two other juveniles were also involved in the incident. According to a neighbor in the area, the two tried fleeing the scene in a vehicle before bailing out in an alley and running away on foot. So let me just start off by saying this. I'm not condoning nothing, so let's not get nothing misconstrued. What I'm basically stating is that you had somebody who was a vigilante. In the articles that I've been able to read, they said that a homeowner around such and such a clock basically saw, right, accusing a man of basically going through and, vandalizing cars or whatnot, or whatever, breaking into cars. And he decided to step out of the safety of his home and go out there in the street and decide to be a vigilante and take the life of the teenager. Um, Ended up causing baneful injuries directly to the teen, and then supposedly trying to give CPR to the teen. Supposedly, I'm not even believing that. Um, I'm just like I said, I'm just a little bit confused. Usually, what takes place is that somebody will call the police. Somebody would normally call the police, but for whatever reason, this homeowner who is unidentified, but yet they were able to identify the middle schooler. They had his whole name directly out there and everything, but we don't have the name of the homeowner. Ain't that something? Ain't that interesting? Why are you hiding the name of the homeowner? I thought the homeowner did the right thing, right? I thought the homeowner was protecting the neighborhood, right? That's his land, you know, out there protecting the neighborhood. What he's supposed to do and all this other type of stuff. Being like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, right? That's what he was doing, right? So why protect and leave out the name but give the name of the team? Ain't that something? And then of course, you want to specifically let people know that the team is black, but yet we don't know or can't even identify who the unidentified homeowner is that is a part of the neighborhood supposedly that stepped out of his home at night, dark 30, and decided to go directly out there to confront the teen that is accused of going directly out here and vandalizing cars, breaking into cars, whatever you want to sit up there and use. Like I said, I find this very interesting how this transpired. Because if anything, I would understand if somebody wanted to defend themselves, if another individual was coming directly into their house, sure, so be it. No problem, right? You're a homeowner, it's your house, you're able to sit up there and defend yourself. Gotcha. But you mean to tell me you're in a neighborhood and you saw him going to car to car to car to car. Nowhere in any articles that I hear them state that the young man was supposedly going for his car in his driveway or whatever it is. Didn't hear that his property was directly gone after. But yet he still decided to come out of the safety of his home. No, his life was not in danger. He was not being threatened. Nobody was holding him up. None of these things were taking place. But for whatever reason, he felt as though that he had the full-fledged right to put himself in a dangerous situation, or what most people would perceive to be a dangerous situation, due to the fact that you have an individual, right? The young man, this is at night, don't know who it is, unidentifiable. You got an individual at night seemingly breaking into cars. So a neighbor decided to take himself out of safety, put himself in to a dangerous situation where anything could happen, and decided to quote unquote take action as a vigilante. I could swear anytime that I read comic books, you have those who are in power, such as the government and police, that don't like vigilantes. Even though they're doing the work of the police, stopping crime and all these other types of things, they still state that they don't need heroes. Heroes shouldn't be doing this. And if they're actually heroes, then they should take off their mask and let the world know who they are. So if this neighbor is a hero, I'm with everybody else in the comics. If this person is a vigilante, they want to quote unquote be a hero, they want to stop crime. This person needs to be identified. We need to know who their face is, know who this person is, and I need to know a motive as to why it is that they felt so emboldened to go directly out of the safety. I'm going to repeat this a multitude of times, to go directly out of the safety of their home directly into a dangerous situation where anything can happen. They don't know if any other people are out there. They don't know if it's a group of 20 or 30 people that's going out there doing this. They don't know who might be hiding in the wind, cutting corners, going through the alley, hiding in trees, might be coming from under cars. They don't know none of that. But yet he felt safe and emboldened enough. Obviously, his house wasn't safe. So he had to leave his house and throw himself into a safe situation, which is out there in the streets at dark 30 at night to confront a quote unquote would be criminal, and decided to administer some type of justice to that criminal. Even though, again, this neighbor, this homeowner, their life was not even in danger. None of the lives of any of the homeowners, of any of those neighbors, were even in danger. So, yet again, I'm just asking for a friend, where was the initial threat, and how and why is it possible that somebody can step outside of their house and deliver some type of justice? Because if this was any other group of people, if this was any other persons directly out there in America that decided to do this, that decided to become Judge Dredd, aka I am the law, they wanted to do that, people would be screaming. People would be looking for some type of prosecution. People would want some type of jail or prison time, right? But magically, when it just so happens that this is taking place, like I said, the person is unidentified. So I don't specifically know who it is. I just find it very odd that they don't want to list anything at all. But magically, when this ends up happening, nothing. Like I said, I don't realistically care the identity too much of the person. I want them to stand trial. I want them to be prosecuted, because nobody has the right to directly go out here and decide when and where they want to end up taking the life of somebody else. I could have sworn, we're not able to. I could have sworn as citizens, you can't do that. But I know as police, they can do it. I know as military, they can do it. I know you got some private organizations, they can do it. But when it comes to everyday people that just got a license, you're not able to do that unless your life is actually in danger, unless somebody's actually breaking into your house. But even that has an extent, because in certain states, if someone was to break into your house, they tell you you're supposed to run. If you're able to run from that situation, you're supposed to run. Like I said, this world is pretty confusing. It's supposed to be, again, the United States, but none of the laws or any of, the different things that have been passed, none of those things are united. So here we are again, where a young man, a black young man, who is obviously troubled, who obviously is going through some things in life, who obviously needed some counsel, some guiding, never was able to get or find that, or pretty much he was stopped short before that could even take place by way of a neighbor that was just trying to play his role in State Farm and just protect and be a good neighbor.